Hey guys, welcome to me and Sky's channel. Well, it's Life with Sky, so anything that has to do with Sky in our lives. This video today is going to be about my labor and delivery. Oh my gosh. Previously, if you just watched my previous video, you seen I talked about, you know, what happened when I found out about when I was pregnant or whatever. Sorry, I can't talk. So but this video is about my labor and delivery. So let's start where I started feeling all these contractions. So I went in on a Tuesday because I was having contractions. It was like, it wasn't bad as in, oh my gosh, like this, like I can't tolerate any type of contractions, but it was contractions or whatever. It was like I had a whole lot of stomach pain or whatever. They sent me home. They saying Sky was fine or whatever. They sent me home. And then the next day, which was a Wednesday, I went to the doctor. Girl, she just spitting up. I went to the doctor and they told me, they was like, well, because I was having contractions, I believe they said go into the hospital when you're having contractions 3 to 5 minutes apart. And I was having contractions 3 to 5 minutes apart or whatever. It's like 5 minutes exactly or whatever. And they was like, well, you're not dilating, so we're just gonna have you walk around the hospital, the little labor delivery part of the hospital, and we're gonna see if you dilate any, because I was at just 1.5. I wasn't 1.5. I was just, I believe 1 centimeter. You have to be 2 for them to keep you. So they had me walk around the hospital, and I felt like it was bad. It was contractions, but it was like tolerable contractions. So I didn't dilate any, so they ended up sending me home. And then so the next day, because I kept going in because the contractions is there. But the next day when I went in, I believe it was no, it was a Friday, because my mom wanted me to go in Thursday, and I was like, no, I'm fine or whatever. So I didn't want to go in because all they was going to do is send me home. So I ended up going in on Friday or whatever, and it was like they sent me back home. And Friday was like, it's getting a little bit more stronger or whatever. And so I went in, and they was like, they just sent me home. They was like, well, I see that you are contracting, but you know, you're not dilating any. So I'm like, okay. So I ended up not staying. I went home or whatever. And my mom, she was like, she kept checking on me or whatever, and I was fine. Like it hurted, but it was tolerable pain. Sorry, I see my earring shining through my glasses. What is that? But it was a tolerable pain. So I'm gonna speed up to Saturday. Saturday around like 4 o'clock in the morning. Like that whole like Friday, I didn't go to sleep. It rolled over to Saturday early in the morning. I still wasn't asleep, and I'm like, these hurt so bad. Like it hurted so bad, and she was kicking. It was just like contractions back to back. I was on the ball upstairs, just rolling the ball, crying. Like it hurted so bad. I'm calling my boyfriend on the phone, and he was like, well, you know, you're fine, and this, that, and the third. I'm like, I'm not fine, you know. I wasn't fine. It hurted. And so about time I called mom. I went downstairs and I told my mom that, you know, I wanted to go in because it hurt or whatever. And she was like, well, she was like, well, you want to go in? I was like, yeah. So we ended up going to the hospital. I'm trying to call my boyfriend. He didn't answer the phone or whatever. And then so, cause he sleep like a log. When he sleep, he sleep. So, sorry, I'm out of breath. So, we get to the hospital or whatever. I'm still not dilating, but they see that I'm contracting. I'm contracting 3 minutes apart now, exactly 3 minutes apart. But they was like, well, you still not you're not dilating any, so we can't really do nothing for you. And I was like, what? I was like, well, you know, I want to stay. I want to stay because, you know, I really, it's hurting or whatever. They was like, well, we can't do anything for you. You might as well just go home or whatever. I started crying because I did not want to go home because it hurted so bad. And then they was like, well, we can give you some medicine. It won't stop your contraction and it won't stop the pain, but you won't feel anything. So they gave me this drug. I forget what it's called, but they gave me this drug, and so I was drugged up. Like, it was like a high type of medicine. It got me high a little bit or whatever. And they gave me that, and they told me, you know, take that. You're gonna have your baby. Today. Today was it rolled over to Sunday. They was like, you're gonna have your baby or whatever. And the thing about it was, the previous day, Saturday, I seen a girl that I used to go to school with, and she was crying so bad. Like, I wasn't in that much of a pain as she was that day, but man, I'm telling you, when that day hit that I was in so much pain, which that was the Sunday morning, or whatever you want to call it, Saturday, Sunday morning, I was in so much pain. I was crying. I did not want to walk anymore. My mom was in there recording. Stop recording. This stuff hurts. So, you know, I went home, went to sleep, and I ended up waking up, saw my brothers and sisters was making so much noise, and I had woke up or whatever, and I was in so much pain. And so I started I was on the ball. My mom gave me some pineapples, and she gave me some black licorice. That black licorice so nasty. I was like, and I was on the bouncy ball, and then I was like, you know what, this stuff ain't working. So every time I was in a contraction, I had my sister, Michaela, she had put this rag hot, like I wanted it was like super duper hot. And she had it on there. She had it on the towel or whatever. She had it. It was hot. She put it in my back. She put the towel in my back. And my mom was like, you sure this is not too hot? I said, no. She was sitting there rubbing it on my back. And then she did it about 3 times. The fourth time she did that, or the third time she did that, my water broke. I said, Mom, my water broke. Like, my water broke. When I think of, because right before my water broke or whatever, I went to the bathroom, my mucus plug came out. And, you know, I'm like, my mucus plug came out. Like, I'm about to have this baby. But when I was watching videos, a lot of people's mucus plug comes out. It can come out way before, it doesn't mean anything. But my mucus plug came out, and I was like, okay, I'm finna have this baby or whatever. So, you know, Michaela started putting that hot rag on my back, and that's when my water broke. And so I'm sitting there laying on the floor, started crying. My dad and my mom carried me. My dad carried me to the car or whatever. And so we get to the hospital. They put me in a room, and they took my clothes and they put it in a bag or whatever. And it was like, so they put me in there. They checked the baby or whatever, getting the room prepared for me because it was gonna keep me no matter what, because I wasn't dilated. I was just 1.5 by then, and I wasn't dilated 2 centimeters. So my water broke. That's the reason why they kept me. Because if, you know, I went in again, they was just going to send me home without my water being broken. So my water was broke. So we was in a room, and the doctors, they was just asking me a lot of questions or whatever. And my boyfriend was there. He came to the hospital because I called him. And my mom was there. My dad came with all my sisters and my little brother Kemet or whatever. And so, you know, I'm like, I'm okay for a little bit because, you know, the contractions kind of slowed down a little bit. Like, to be honest, after my water broke, I wasn't having any contractions. Like, I wasn't having those bad contractions. Like, when my water broke, it was like a big relief type of thing. And so after that, I had my doctor was asking me questions, and then I had like this feeling. It was like weird because I couldn't respond back to her or anything like that. And like, I can hear everything that was going around me. I'm sorry. I can hear and see everything that was going on around me, but I wasn't able to respond to nobody. And all of a sudden my beeper, it was going off. It was going off or whatever. I started hyperventilating, and all these nurses, I'm talking about all these nurses, came running in the room like I was finna die or whatever. And then I stopped and slowed down or whatever. And it was weird because that never happened to me before. My eyes was blinking real fast or whatever, and they was like, "Are you okay?" So they said my potassium was low or something, my blood sugar or something was low, and they gave me some orange juice. And after that, they started asking me some questions or whatever, and then they finished getting me registered. And then my dad took my my little brother and my sisters home, and no, they took him. He took him into the lobby, and I think my mom stayed in there, and so we was waiting a little bit, and then they came in and they told me, well, we're gonna give you the epidural. Remind you, I wasn't even dilated yet. I was dilated like I think 2 centimeters, and I was fine. I didn't ask for epidural. They was like, well, we're gonna give you the epidural or whatever. I'm like, okay. My mom was like, I guess my mom told my dad that when because they both went out to the lobby, and my mom and my dad was talking, and they was like, well, she's gonna have a C-section. You know, they kept saying I was gonna have a C-section. That's what my mama said, but they never told me I was having a C-section. So, you know, they gave me the epidural. My mom and my dad went home, and my boyfriend went to go out to go get Subway because he haven't ate all day. And so I was there a little bit by myself. My boyfriend came back. My mom and my dad and my sister Priyanda, they came back or whatever, and they came in because I was fine. I was knocked out. I was good. I didn't feel no pain. And they came in. They was like, well, we have to do a C-section. If you don't do a C-section, then it's a big chance your baby would die. And I'm looking at my mom or whatever, asking her to help, because first of all, I'm scared that my baby's gonna die, for one, and I'm scared that, you know, scared about the C-section, them cutting me wide open. And so so I'm looking at my mom, and I looked at the doctor. I'm like, I don't know, like, I'm scared. So I'm like, okay. And then he started talking me through the C-section and the procedure. He said it was only gonna take about 30 minutes, and then she's gonna be there. So it was like 10:50 something. I think 10:50. And then so they prepped me, and only one person was allowed to go back there. So my boyfriend ended up going back there. I wanted one of my family back there, but you know, I had my boyfriend go back there with me, since there was only one person that was allowed to go back there. And so, you know, we get back there, and they started doing the C-section. And so, you know, once they had because I don't know, it was like, okay, this is weird. So like they cut me open, and then like I want to say like 10 minutes after they was doing the procedure or whatever, all I feel was some toes coming out of me. It's like a big old relief. It's like something real small. So it was her feet came out of me, because that's the last thing that came out of me, out of exactly my belly or whatever. It was like she started crying, and then they had this blue thing blocking the bed, blocking my stomach and everything, so I want to see no blood or anything. And they put her over the curtain like this. They was like, there your baby, she's a girl or whatever. And mind you, she crying, she all blue or whatever. And I was like, you know, and I was drugged up, and I was like, what? Like, I'm just looking like puzzled. I'm like, huh? This is my baby? Like, when I say it was like the weirdest, it's like people cry. Like, when you watch videos, people crying when they first see their baby or whatever. And I'm looking at her like, you know, because I'm like, they had me on a whole lot of medicine. And I'm like, but I couldn't hold her first. My boyfriend held her first, or whatever. She weighed 6 pounds, and she weighed 6 pounds and 8 ounces. I'm sorry, 6 pounds and 8 ounces exactly. And she was a healthy baby. You know, she was small, but she was really healthy. They put me in the recovery room or whatever. I was in there, and they checked my blood pressure. My blood pressure was like sky high. She had to use another one to see if it would drop a little bit. It dropped or whatever. She was like, well, she had a good thing it dropped because we're gonna have to get the doctor or whatever, because my blood pressure was just way too high. And so after that or whatever, you know, I was in there. My boyfriend came in there, and there was you know, weighing the baby, getting the baby, you know, trying to latch the baby onto me. After he held her, they was trying to latch the baby on because they wanted to breastfeed right away. And so, like, after my blood pressure, they checked my blood pressure, they tried to latch her on. So I breastfed her for a little bit, and then after that, my boyfriend, he left, and my mom, my dad, and my sister came in, and, you know, my dad got to hold the baby, my mom held the baby, and I was in there for a little while. Then my parents ended up leaving, and so they ended up putting me in the room, like my room where I was gonna stay in for those 3 days. And so I was in there. It was pretty a pretty nice room. They put the baby in there with me, and she was crying. I was exhausted, but I was really exhausted, and she was crying or whatever, and I hate it when she cried. Like, I don't know, like, I was like, what's wrong with my baby? Like, I didn't want her to cry. And so I had my boyfriend give me her, but I was in so much pain, like the medicine started to wear off or whatever, and it was like so much pain. And then my boyfriend had got her for me, and I ended up going to sleep. The next day, they wanted me up and walking. Like, they had me messed up. They wanted me to they take the catheter out of me, because I had a catheter in, because I couldn't use the bathroom by myself. And so they took the catheter out of me, and they ended up they took the catheter out of me, and then they made me walk and go use the bathroom. I couldn't use the bathroom. Like, you have to pee, or they had to put the catheter back in you, and I couldn't pee. And low-key, I wanted that catheter back in me, because I did not want to get up to go to the bathroom. And then so I ended up eventually using the bathroom, and then they had the next step, they wanted me to walk. I walked down the hall and back. That was it. I could not walk. It hurted so bad. I couldn't even stand up straight. It took me, I want to say, it took me about 3 to 4 weeks to actually walk straight up, because I was always bent over. I could not walk straight. And after that, they wanted me to poop. They wanted me to go number 2, and that did not happen. I didn't go number 2 until I went home. And but yeah, I want to say the second day in the hospital, the third day in the hospital, you know, I was up and I was walking. I was ready to get up out of there, because they ended up keeping me another day or whatever, but I did not. I was ready to go, so I was up, I was moving. I did a little bit too extra, because that medicine wore off, and I was hurt. After they sent me home, we went to Walgreens to go pick up my medicine, and it was like this little hump. He hit that hump so hard, man, it hurted so bad. Like, C-sections, you know, you would think it's like the easiest thing, and you would love to have a C-section, but it's like, it was so bad. Like, my cut, they didn't stitch it on the outside, they only stitched it in the inside, so I still had like a slice still open. Like, I was still open, and they had this gloss or whatever, they had it blocking. Like, they cut the clean or whatever. They wanted me to keep it clean. My mama cut the clean for me or whatever, and I had to sleep downstairs in the living room, because that was the only way I can be in a recliner, because I couldn't lay flat down, because I couldn't breathe. Like, having a C-section is not easy, because it's a longer healing process because you don't ever fully, like, it would say you got the 6 weeks to heal. I was still open at 6 weeks or whatever. She getting sleepy. I was still open at 6 weeks or whatever. So she sprayed some stuff in my incision, so it made it close up a little faster. But I don't know, that was so bad. That was so bad. I don't know. It's like that moment, like back to like when I was in labor, that moment where I had that episode when I was hyperventilating and stuff. She getting sleepy. I had to really think, like, I'm like, Malia, calm down, because in my head, I really felt like I was gonna die. Like, I really thought my life was over. Like, watching all that Grey's Anatomy and all those doctor shows, it's like, I really thought that was my time. And I praise to God that was not my time, because I wouldn't have got to spend these little 4 months with my baby. Yes, my baby. She getting sleepy. But yeah, when I went home, let's see, after my 6 weeks, I was up to a lot more stuff. I was walking around the neighborhood, trying to get more exercise, walking with Sky or whatever, try to get my body up and moving. I wasn't still able to walk up the stairs. Every time you walked up the stairs, it would bust open a little bit. So I was really taking it easy, whatever. And ever since that, I've been like, after my labor, whatever, it's been fine. You know, it's like all that little stuff during your labor and delivery, it's really all worth it, especially when you get to bring your baby home. It was really all worth it. It was all worth it, I promise. Even though you took me through everything that I did not think I was gonna go under, it was all worth it. Even though I still have that scar to prove it. But if you want more stories with me and Sky, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my videos. And you guys, peace.